Well, happy Sunday to you. We got another jam-packed show. Lots to do today again. I want to give you my thoughts on this Novak Djokovic stuff because, obviously we've been so impacted by COVID and we've been so impacted across the sports landscape. And now you've got one of the best tennis players in the world not able to participate in one of the legs of the Grand Slam. It's a shame. It particularly is disheartening when we are now 2 years into this thing. If you're 3 months in, 6 months in, 9 months in, where we don't have a handle on it, I understand it. But it's just frustrating when you've got a premier event and your premier player isn't allowed to be there. So we'll talk about that. I also want to get your thoughts on whether or not halfway through the season, and my buddy Rod Beard put out a great piece in the Detroit News. I urge you to go look at it, kind of where we're at, the state of the Pistons halfway through the year. And look, Pistons had the number 1 overall pick. Do you feel that they made the right decision with Cade Cunningham? Because, is he kind of a rookie of the year candidate? Is he that next breakout star? I'm not sure. We'll kind of break down the top 5 rookies that have really made an impact in the NBA this season. Cade Cunningham's one of them. But has he been that number 1 pick? I don't know if he's been that number 1 pick right now. But boy, oh boy, does he have potential. Tons of potential. So we'll do that as well tonight. And then, of course, it's Wildcard Weekend. I mean, if you were betting along with us yesterday, you'd be in the black. You'd be making money. I told you I did not like this game that is in progress now in Dallas. This Cowboy 49er game. I told you I didn't like it. I didn't bet it. I didn't want to touch it because I told you I just had this feeling that the 49ers were coming in to take care of business. I think it was Dallas giving 3 at home, which is generally indicative of if you've got 2 pretty even teams, home field is worth 3 points. So I think Vegas looked at these 2 teams very equally. And right now, San Francisco with a huge lead on Dallas at halftime. So, I told you I didn't like this game from a betting standpoint. I didn't bet it. I think I took the Cowboys in a close one, but it's 16-7 at the half right now. All 49ers in that first half. Jimmy Garoppolo has been really magnificent. 11 for 14, 133 yards. So, look, I told you that was the one game I didn't like yet. Told you the Bucs were going to blow out the Eagles. And we felt pretty good about the Bills and the Patriots. I told you I thought the Bills kind of figured it out last time the Patriots came to Buffalo. It was a nasty game. Mac Jones only threw the ball 4 times. And I think Buffalo learned from their past mistakes. I think it helped them. And then they absolutely went out and trucked Bill Belichick in the New England Patriots yesterday. So, look, we got a lot to do tonight. Lots to do tonight. And by the way, speaking of Bill Belichick, he says he's going to continue to coach at 70. I've got an interesting question about Bill Belichick as it relates to his legacy post Tom Brady. And I think that is the driving force, in my opinion, on why Bill Belichick is going to continue to coach. But we'll talk. We've got a lot to do tonight. Hope you're having a nice one. It was a pretty nice day today, I got to be honest. We didn't do a whole lot. We kind of hung around the house, but it was a nice day. Real nice day out today. So anyway, it's good to have you with us. Appreciate you tuning us in during dinner, pre-dinner, post-dinner, whatever it is. And look, you're going to have to settle in tonight because we've got a lot of good football. I mean, this second half from AT&T Stadium is going to be good. So this is one that you're going to want to watch. And then obviously later, Pittsburgh, KC, it's going to be a good one too. So we got a lot to do. Lot to do tonight. Lot to do.
Could see some flurries for King Day. Otherwise cloudy, high near 30. We'll drop back to the low 20s Monday night, and we'll see low to mid 30s for Tuesday. From the Weather Channel, I'm Jeff Eno on News Talk 760 WJR.
From the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building, you're hearing the great voice of the Great Lakes. News Talk 760 WJR. It's time for Sports Wrap on 760 WJR.
All right, this is the wrap on 760 WJR.
To a car phone we go. Dave, thanks for hanging on. You're on 760.
Gentlemen, and Steve and Dan, you got the chemistry. It's cooking.
Presented by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sports app today. FanDuel, more ways to win.
Are you calling us from your office?
I'm doing SportsCenter tonight with
Are you really?
Dan Patrick.
Well,
Yes.
I'm very impressed. By the way, give Dan our best. He's a good man. And
I will. Hey, Dan, Chuck Swirsky says hi. This is the best sports wrap has ever been, in my opinion.
Now, here's your host, Chris Renwick.
I got to be honest, for as good as these last couple of games have been, and I include this 49er Cowboy game because, look, the Cowboys haven't looked very good. This Niners defense has been swarming. They've been suffocating. There's just nowhere for Dallas to go with the ball. But we'll get to that. I just think for all of the games that we've seen, Bengals, Raiders, good game. Bills, Pats, despite the 30-point separation in points, Bills absolutely beaten down New England. I thought the most embarrassing kind of loss was this Buccaneers-Eagles game. Bucs beat the Eagles 31-15. And it wasn't even until the fourth quarter where the Eagles were able to score their points. They went scoreless through the first three quarters of the game. And I look at the rest of these teams, whether it's Garoppolo, Prescott, Roethlisberger, Mahomes, Carr. Burrow, Mac Jones, Josh Allen. I mean, you look at these playoff teams. Is it safe to say, Jason, that Jalen Hurts is the worst quarterback to make this playoffs? Like, he's the worst quarterback of the bunch. Like, to me, it's not even close.
Yeah, that's very fair to say, yes.
He stinks. And you would think at this point in the season, it was funny because I thought for as times as I think Troy Aikman can be, he can be a tough listen. Him and Joe Buck are about as exciting as, a Petoskey stone sometimes. I thought he was right on the money with Jalen Hurts today, where he just said everything is late. He's dancing around in the pocket. Everything is late. Pump, 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 throwing the ball, 4-5 steps too late. And it was just like, I understand you squeaked in. I understand you didn't win your division. I understand you drew the Bucs. Look, the Bucs are not the same team that won the Super Bowl last year. That team is hurt. That team is depleted. It's not quite the same team. Their offensive line is banged up. And for the Eagles to have that kind of showing today and Jalen Hurts with some of the decisions that were made, I just thought that was a horrendous watch.
That drive to end the half that was picked off.
Oh,
that
the interception in the end zone.
That hurt. Yeah, but it was a very late throw, and the DB read it all the way and picked it off.
I just, again, I understand, getting blown out by the Bills 47-17. That's an incredibly lopsided game. You know what I mean? But that's kind of indicative of what we've seen in the NFL this year. Like, you've seen these wild scoring games where we haven't quite seen those types of things in years past. The Bengals beat the Raiders by a touchdown. That's not that crazy, right? Like, I expect this Chiefs-Steelers game to get out of hand. I think the Chiefs are going to blow out the Steelers. But I just thought this Eagles game, it wasn't a 31-15 game. You know what I mean? Like, that was a 31-0 game in the fourth quarter. That was just, it was so incredibly lopsided. And watching that game, it's like, there's no way Jalen Hurts is going to bring this team back into this thing. Like, there's no way. So as exciting as these last couple of weeks have been, with the addition of these extra teams in the playoffs, with all of the excitement in Week 18, I just thought it was kind of a stinker, and we got a lot to do tonight. I want to continue to talk about Wildcard Weekend. We can talk about this 49ers Cowboys game, but I just wanted to bring that. I just thought out of all of the court, and look, Ben Roethlisberger is a corpse at this point. He's decrepit, and I would still take Ben Roethlisberger now over Jalen Hurts now, which is insane. But yikes, that was a bad luck. Jason, what is going on with your Cowboys? Because offensively, they can't do anything. Defensively, Jimmy Garoppolo's just quietly plodding away, 11 for 14, 133 yards. I really like the way Kyle Shanahan is using his offensive weapons, whether it's Deebo Samuel rushing the football. He hasn't rushed for a tremendous amount of yards today, but he's a threat. He can catch the ball out of the slot. You can line him out wide. You bring him into the backfield. That's dangerous. Brandon Ayuk is always somebody that I've been really intrigued with. I thought coming out of college, I really liked Brandon Ayuk as a receiver. And you're kind of seeing the threat that he is. He's got 4 catches for 67 yards today. And then Elijah Mitchell, late round pick, has been somebody who the 49ers have been able to lean on over their injuries. It just seems they've got guys coming out of the backfield that just keep getting injured. And you're leaning on a young guy in Elijah Mitchell, who is he's just picking up good yards, falling forward. He doesn't fumble the football. Just a real sound back. And right now, the 49ers have this game in the bag, just in the way they controlled that first half. Obviously, you got 2 quarters left of football. But I'm really impressed how the 49ers have looked through the first 2 quarters of today.
No, I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, they have looked very from the first drive. The first drive, they took it right down the field. I think they had like 5 plays of 10 or more yards in a row. The Cowboys defense, although always look very good in the NFC East, I've been saying it for weeks. When you get a halfway decent team or a good team on the field, this seems to happen. This ball hawking defense, it's kind of all or nothing. And they will get the ball to start the second half, but man, it just doesn't. It just seems like the 49ers, both sides of the ball, they're just controlling this one right now.
Is Ezekiel Elliott done? Like we always talk about shelf lives with running backs in the NFL. Yeah. And I think there was probably a window of a few years in the Ezekiel Elliott draft years, where all of a sudden running backs were going really high. Heck, even the Lions took DeAndre Swift top of the second round. So there was a year or a couple of years where NFL teams were all of a sudden kind of changed their mindset, and they were taking some of these running backs because, like, Ezekiel Elliott coming out of OSU was unstoppable. I mean, he was just incredible. And so that had kind of bucked the trend from the few years prior. And then I think now we're getting back into it where running backs' shelf life is so short that you can't invest that high of a pick into a running back. You could have the best running back in college football, go in the second round, mid to late second round, early third round. Like, that's just where the position group lies now on many NFL teams' draft boards. And so I don't know what has been going on with Zeke really this year. I know Tony Pollard has come on, and I think this is more indicative of a scheme change more than anything.
That's what I was going to say. Yep.
But I mean, with the ability that Zeke has, I just look at his stat line in that first half, go 6 carries for 12 yards. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and it's been like that the entire second half of the season. He just squeaked over 1,000 yards in the last week, but the 17th game helped that. And you're right with the scheme and the new coaching staff, because Jason Garrett's Cowboys like to run the ball a lot. Mike McCarthy's team seem to like to throw it more. Tony Pollard's not a number one, but now Zeke's not a number one. So they're just trying to mix and match, but they still give Zeke's still the number one back. So in the first couple of drives, they're finding it hard for him to find a tempo. So if you're running the ball 1 or 2 yards on first down, then it goes on the arm of Dak. And Tony Pollard, he seems to get 4 or 5 yards. So and then Zeke every now and again will catch one out of the backfield, but $15 million a year, I don't think so.
No, thank you. All right, I'll tell you what, we'll take a break, come back, talk more about this game. Obviously, we've got Kansas City, Pittsburgh coming up. We'll take a look at that one. And look, lots to do tonight. Bill Belichick says he ain't retiring. And I have to me, my opinion on this isn't even opinion. It feels more like fact on why Bill Belichick wants to continue to coach outside of being a football junkie. I think there's a reason why Bill Belichick is continuing even at the age of 70. We'll get to that next on SportsWrap.
Pain is a 4-letter word that evokes a lot of different emotions. Anguish.
Mr. Positive is on the line if you want to talk to him.
I've got another 4-letter word for you. Hope. Hope inspires us, gives us reason to be optimistic and look forward to better days to come. At the intersection of pain and hope, you'll find Pain-Free Life Centers in Troy, Michigan. I'm Jeff Morton, the Center Director for Pain-Free Life Centers. For over a decade now, we've been taking pain and turning it into hope. Thanks to our exclusive high-intensity, high-dose laser therapy, we've been changing lives both physically and mentally. What would your life be like if you weren't suffering with your chronic pain? Stop asking yourself that question and call us right now. Pain-Free Life Centers can turn your pain into hope. We're so confident in what we do, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. You truly have nothing to lose but your pain. But you got to make the call. Call Pain-Free Life Centers today at 248-879-1100 or visit Pain-Free Life Centers.
He's going to talk a little bit about Belichick and the Wildcard Weekend and stuff like that.
It's normal to have diarrhea and stomach pains. Sometimes, but not as often as you do. I've got this under control. No, you don't.
It's time to let that voice inside your head be heard. Urgent diarrhea and chronic stomach pain can be signs of Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation can help you learn more and even find a specialist. Don't keep your symptoms to yourself. Get help at spillyourguts.org.
Going once, going twice. Sold to WJR's bidder. Do Michelle's January 20th and 21st auctions feature over 800 unique lots from notable estates in Metro Detroit and across the globe. Art, glass, sterling silver,
have
medieval
to
armor,
make a
decor
call
and
on this
weapons,
game.
modern and antique firearms, quality furniture and oriental rugs, and much more. All open for bidding. Bid in person.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
This thing is over.
Do Michelle's Detroit's auction house
what a
since
gift that
1927,
is.
Located directly across from the road.
And they've held him to some field goals, but it's still, you're right, it feels like it's over unless they keep calling. They had the ball first there, and I was hoping to get some points on that drive.
I thought it was what I was eating.
Well,
I
kept thinking it was stomach issues. So
I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually
that is a gift.
Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis and being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by
Zeke, he heard me talking, and he just rips off 10 yards.
And all the related price increases.
If you're a homeowner or a contractor,
yeah, but that play was
we know
dead
the
to rights on the left
struggles you both
side.
have.
Yeah, it was.
There's nothing there.
People that can help. The Inside Outside guys want to help homeowners and contractors alike with our over 80 years of combined housing experience.
Go where thousands of Michigan homeowners go every month for help with their homes, theinsideoutsideguys.com.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys are brought to you in part by Clarkston Window and Door.
Hi, I'm Jeff Weaver of Clarkston Window and Door. For over 33 years, we've been providing hundreds of thousands of windows and doors to Michigan homes. Our windows are made to order, so you control the design process from color, style, grids, and hardware. Our sales team and installers are experts and have decades of experience. All that and a lifetime warranty and an affordable price. Check out our reviews online and come see us at our design showroom. Great financing options are available. Visit clarkstonwindow.com for more info or call 248-338-6781.
Now back to more Sports Wrap. Presented by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sports app today. FanDuel, more ways to win. Here's Chris Renwick.
All right, Jason, listen to me here. The Cowboys just got a gift on the roughing the kicker call when they were punting it away from their own, whatever it was, 15-yard line. If they don't score here, this thing's over.
Yeah, it looks like it. And Dak almost threw a pick right there.
He almost threw a pick. So I'm just telling you, this San Francisco defense is getting after him. So this feels like a do-or-die moment right now.
Yeah.
They need to score or this thing's over. In the meantime, I found this story on ESPN and I thought it was interesting. Because I saw it and I'm like, well, obviously, Bill Belichick, he turned 70 in April, a couple of months. Said he still wants to coach in 2022. He'll begin the process of starting the new year. And said he has no, he once said that he didn't plan to coach into his 70s, but he says, look, I want to be back. I want to coach. This is what I want to do. And to me, this is a twofold thing. I think aside from the Bill Belichick is he's a nut. This is what he does. This is all he wants to do. Like Bill Belichick sitting at home is probably like a miserable person. You know what I mean? Like he has to be coaching. And I think this has more to do with Belichick being able to win another Super Bowl minus Tom Brady. Because obviously we know of all of the games, all of the championships that they won together. But I think that when you look at where we are today, Tom Brady leaves, goes, wins a Super Bowl year one minus Bill Belichick. Yep, he had all the bells and whistles. He had receivers, Pro Bowl receivers across the field. Scotty Miller was somebody he has been able to turn into, a Wes Welker type, a Julian Edelman type. You got running backs in Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, and you've got a young ball hawking defense that'll hit you in the mouth. And last year they just got better and better. Now, with that being said, I think that a huge chunk of Bill Belichick wanting to continue to coach, even in the ripe old age of 70, I think that all has to do with Bill Belichick needing to cement that legacy. Look, Tom went and did it already. Year one without you, Bill. And I think that if you don't think that that's the case, to me, it's obvious. Bill Belichick wants to win another Super Bowl without Tom Brady. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Jason, is that crazy?
No, that's not crazy. I always think of it like who's gonna retire first. But if Brady wins another one, and that's going to be 2-0,
right?
He keeps winning. Belichick's going to be, if that is Belichick's motive, he's going to be like, all right, I surrender.
Right.
I'll be happy to remember the great days that we had together.
Greg in Shelby Township joins us on Sports Wrap. What's up, Greg?
Christopher, Jason, Mr. Positive, thanks for taking my call.
Yo.
Oh, my God. You're spot on, my friend, about Bill. Yeah, he needs to win without Brady. because he's just goes home and goes, oh my God, I can't do it without him. And you're right about the Dallas Cowboys. I just can't believe how pitiful they're playing, and that Nick Bosa is just coming through. You can't stop him. He's a beast.
Oh, he's
and
a
real
stud.
Quick, I think what we've learned in these what do you call these type of games?
Wild card games. Wild card games.
I think what you're learning is the true teams that are supposed to be there. I love that my Bills dominated the Patriots like you wouldn't believe. And the Eagles, like you said, terrible team. 3 interceptions by Hurts, just terrible. Lots of penalties. And then I'm surprised that Dallas is playing so poorly. And you're right, Kansas City's just going to destroy Pittsburgh. And the only other game that was worthy was, but it shouldn't have been, and what say you about this, the penalty that was called prior to the guy catching it, it should have been 16-16 as opposed to 23-16. And, all of a sudden, there's a loophole, supposedly, from what I understood by the commentators. Now with the game, if the play's in progress and there's a whistle prior to the game in progress or the play in progress, what supersedes what?
Yeah, you're talking about that Bengals-Raiders game, and we were going to get to that in a bit. But here's the thing: is I think if you're going to blow a whistle, and if there's a whistle blown in play, right, like it's constant blowing of the whistle. You've got different referees from different sides blowing the whistle because they hear another member of the crew blowing the whistle. When you blow a one whistle inadvertently, they said, you expect everybody to just stop what they're doing. I think it's a bogus rule. I think it's a terrible rule. And I understand that you can't necessarily wipe it off the books. And I understand why it's not reviewable.
So, Chris, are you saying that there should be more than one whistle blown?
Well, in this case, it was inadvertent, right? Like somebody had the whistle in their mouth and they blew it when they shouldn't have, when there was no reason to blow it. It was inadvertently
I didn't hear that.
blown.
I didn't.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it was a mistake. Like there was no reason to blow it. It was a whistle in the middle of the play that there shouldn't have been a whistle because there was no infraction. So
Mr. Positive loves your synopsis, my friend. I love it. I did not know that. Thanks for clarification.
Well, and that's the problem with that play. And that's where I think that the touchdown should stand. Because if there is an infraction and one member of the crew blows their whistle, everybody hops on board, blows their whistles. In this case, one person blew the whistle and then nobody else did. And so you expect the players to just throw everything down and stop mid-play and they're not going to finish it through? I don't think so. So,
okay.
and Greg, it's a great point, and I'm glad you brought it up. But it wasn't. To me, I anticipate the league to clarify this rule. The crew that worked that game isn't going to be working any more playoff games this year. You can't have that. You can't have people blowing whistles in the middle of the play when there's no reason to blow the whistle. So I think that's the right action by the NFL. And again, I think that how that game shook out, I mean, if I were a Raiders fan, I'd be a little salty. I absolutely would be a little salty. But I think Jason, do you agree the better team won? I mean, I think the Bengals were the better team. But, geez, if you're the Raiders, obviously you got to be upset because you just can't have that.
No, I agree. Yes, the better team did win, but that's something they got to clean up.
Something you got to clean up. And again, I agree with the NFL not allowing that crew to call any more games for the rest of the playoffs. I think that is the absolute right move. Even if it is one of their better crews, I think that because of that type of action, you just can't be allowed to call any more games. So I think the NFL made the right decision. All right, I'll tell you what, we'll take a break. I want to talk about the Pistons a little bit. We'll talk about the NFL Wildcard Weekend. Of course, we're in the middle of this 49ers-Cowboys game. So we'll update you on where we're at with that. Steelers-Chiefs tonight, kick off at 8:15. Still got a lot to do, but I want to talk about the Pistons. They drafted Cade Cunningham #1 for a reason. They thought he was the game changer that they were looking for. Has he been that this year? We'll talk about where he kind of falls amongst other rookies in the NBA this season. That's next on Sports Wrap. Don't go anywhere.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refill?
Yeah, big time.
Well,
And they just, this is 35.
Fill your Medicare prescriptions with
San Fran converted on that, so.
Oh, man.
Drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See Walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
A turnover
Hey,
would be
I'm
nice.
Culligan, smart home,
How
smart
about
water
Micah
softener.
Parsons
Hey,
being an
Culligan,
all-pro
get a
in
smart
his
water
first
softener,
season?
Lift those heavy salt bags
That's
for me.
pretty incredible.
Wait.
They say he did have COVID. They say he's still kind of recovering from
your
that.
dealer when the salt needs to be
Really?
replaced. And they'll do
So
it
he's
for you.
been hitting
your
the
wife
oxygen on the
stays soft,
sidelines.
And you stay away from lifting the bags.
Wow.
I mean, I could lift him if I wanted. No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with the free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
You could win car washes for an entire year with an unlimited Club Express exterior membership from Jack's Car Wash. Text keyword car wash to 800-859-0957 to be entered. That's keyword car wash as one word with no spaces to 800-859-0957. Standard message and data rates apply. For official rules, visit WJR.com. Wash your car as often as you want. The Jack's Unlimited Club. Plans start at $22.99.
Everyone's talking about labor shortages and all the related price increases.
If you're a homeowner or a contractor, we know the struggles you both have trying to find trustworthy people that can help. The Inside Outside guys want to help homeowners and contractors alike with our over 80 years of combined housing experience.
Go where thousands of Michigan homeowners go every month for help with their homes, theinsideoutsideguys.com.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys are brought to you in part by Motor City Floors and Coatings.
Paul W. here. During the winter months, there's a lot of dirt buildup on
we'll have Sean for a cross, too.
Well, my friends
All
at
right,
Motor
cool.
City Floors and Coatings have transformed homes all over Michigan with their concrete coating system. 4 times stronger than epoxy, offering over 20 different colors to choose from, and all backed by a 15-year warranty. They can change that ugly garage or basement floor any time of year. Get a free estimate today at Motor City.
Yeah, I got to get something here.
That's MotorCityFloorsandCoatings.com.
I'll tell you, I put a lot of stock into CD Lamb
It's a time
this
of
year,
tremendous
and he
uncertainty
just,
for everyone.
I mean, he's had a nice
Some
year,
things
but he
haven't changed.
hasn't.
Stomach cancer is still a
played the way
leading
I
cause
thought
of
he was
cancer
going
death worldwide. More than 1 million.
No, he's feast or
died
famine.
this year alone, and it's vital to know your risks.
A lot of mouths to feed on this team.
It's also critical for cancer patients to protect themselves from all viruses.
Clay, what's up? Yes, we are going to talk about the Australian Open.
Understand your risks.
I'm
Find
very
out more
disappointed
about COVID-19 at cancer.gov and learn more about your risks for stomach cancer at
to basically give the boost.
What if you were wearing something
So,
sexy?
I think it's
What
terrible.
if you were drinking? What if you made the first move?
We'll talk
No
about
matter
it
what,
next. We got a lot to
sexual
do
assault
still here in the
is
next half
never
hour.
your fault. Support is available
So, yes, we are
24/7
gonna
through
talk
the
about
National Sexual Assault Hotline. Call 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAINN.org. That's RAINN.org. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN, reminding you it's never your fault.
Brought to you by Rain and this station.
Now back to more Sports Wrap. Presented by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sports app today. FanDuel, more ways to win. Here's Chris Renwick.
All right, so Cowboys just force a big punt here. 49ers up 16-7. Cowboys going to get the ball at their own 23 with about 7.5 to go in the third quarter. So still an opportunity for the Cowboys to get things together, but the 49ers defensively doing a nice job against the boys. So we'll keep you updated on this one as we go over the next half hour. Meanwhile, you got Steelers Chiefs tonight, 8:15 kickoff from Arrowhead. Jason, the more I marinated on this last night after we got off the show, I told you I didn't like 12.5. That is a huge, huge number. Mm-hmm. I got to be honest. I'm going to lay the points. I don't know if the Steelers are going to be able to score 15 points against this team.
I don't think they'll score 10. Or that could be the most. That could be the most.
And look, maybe we're crazy, but I think this Chiefs team is going to have themselves a day.
Juju Smith-Schuster back.
Juju Smith-Schuster is back.
Is that going to make a difference? And I think I'm going to answer my own question right there. I don't think so. I think Ben Roethlisberger just can't throw it. He dink and dunks now. So, I think it's going to be a long night for the Steelers.
One of the interesting things I'm going to be interested to see is TJ Watt, who has now 22 and a half sacks, ties an all-time record, which is of course JJ Watt's record. Is he going to be able to get to Patrick Mahomes at all? I mean, do they just key in on him and move the rest around? I don't know how big of a emphasis that's going to be. But I think it's something that you got to just keep in mind. Like, if he can get to Mahomes a couple of times, that it may keep the Steelers in this thing for at least a certain amount of time. But I think Kansas City's going to run away with this one. So, I lay the 12.5. I know it probably hurts. It's going to hurt me, but do it because I think that's the right thing to do. In the meantime, I wanted to just take a minute to talk about the Pistons. And then I want to get into this Novak Djokovic stuff because I got to be honest, I'm heated about it. Pistons take Cade Cunningham number 1 overall. Has he been the number 1 player amongst rookies this year? No, probably not. Right? Like, he had a slow start to the season, was banged up, got right, they got him back. Was having a great game last night, but got bounced after he got teed up twice last night and got bounced. But as my good friend Rod Beard in the Detroit News wrote about the 5 takeaways from the Pistons' first half of the season, number 1, Cade Cunningham is the real deal. And I agree. Obviously, the ankle injury slowed him down, slowed training camp down, I think put a hamper on the early going of the season. But he leads all rookies in scoring with 15.5 points, 5th in rebounding, and 2nd in assists. I mean, look, when you look at the other notable rookies in the NBA this year, Evan Mobley, he may be up for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he's playing really well. For a big man, he moves, and he's a force in the paint. Scotty Barnes with Toronto is another player who has played really well. Franz Wagner, the former Michigan product, has played really well. 3 times been plus 20 points or more. And then you've got Josh Giddey with the Thunder, who I don't know if he is truly one of the best players, one of the best rookies at least, but he can be a highlight reel at points. And as a point guard, he might be one of the better point guards of this class. But I think that everybody needs to take a breath because I think Cade Cunningham is the real deal. Did I tell you before the season started, after they drafted Cade, was he going to be kind of that springboard into the next phase of where this team is? Yeah. But I think everybody else has been, Sadiq Bey is getting better. I thought he was going to take bigger steps. I thought Jeremy Grant was going to be taking bigger steps. And we just haven't quite gotten all of that yet. So I just thought it was interesting to note because, Cade is leading some stats in some really important areas. And I think going forward, just keep an eye on Cade Cunningham because I think he's in the right direction. Meanwhile, the 49ers have taken a 22-7 lead, 5.5 to go in the third quarter. Jason, this thing's done. I'm really sorry. I don't relish. Jason is angry. I don't relish in this. This is not what I'm. But yeah, that Deebo Samuel off a little give around the corner, cuts it back inside, and away we go. Here's the thing: this Novak Djokovic stuff drives me bonkers, and here's my real problem with it. The problem that I have mostly is that we are now 2 years into COVID-19, right? Like, this is not something new anymore. We understand how to work around this. And Novak Djokovic was willing to do everything possible to play in the Australian Open. Was doing everything he could to play in the Australian Open. Novak Djokovic is unvaccinated. And that goes against basically the entire continent of Australia. And so he had a court hearing. At first, he was given the okay to go after he got to Australia. There was some questions whether or not he was going to be able to play. He got the okay. It was appealed. And then he went in front of a judge at the federal court, and they held up the ban. Said he was extremely disappointed. 3 federal court judges unanimously upheld the decision made by the immigration minister to cancel Djokovic's visa on public interest grounds because he's not vaccinated. Every time you see Novak Djokovic in public in Australia, he's masked. He has a KN95 and N95 mask on. He has seemed to be distancing himself from everybody in the pictures that I've seen. He's doing everything he can to play the game. He has won the Australian Open 9 times, including 3 in a row. And now he doesn't have an opportunity to start this first leg of the Grand Slam. Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, and U.S. Open. Doesn't get to play in the Australian Open. And here's the thing, is we are 2 years into the pandemic. And we now have an understanding of how to navigate these things. We now have an understanding is if you are vaccinated, here are the other preventative measures you can take to go about your daily life. And by all accounts, Novak Djokovic has been doing all of those things. He has not been in breach of other protocols. He has been totally compliant in every other facet except being vaccinated. And as the Australian Open being what it is, this is a huge event for Australia. This is a global, worldwide event. And the fact that you now don't have arguably the best tennis player on the planet not able to play, it hurts your product. It doesn't do anything for you to try to advance the game of tennis. It doesn't do anything for you to pump up the Australian Open. It doesn't do anything for you to pump up the Grand Slam, because now, look, you're probably not going to have a Grand Slam winner this year, where you're going to win all 4 of these things. So I think it's disappointing. And look, I'm not even talking about from a political perspective. From a sports perspective, it's a bummer. And look, I'm not going to proclaim to be some great tennis fan, but I do enjoy watching these legs of the Grand Slam. I just do. I think the Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open are exciting. They are big time sports events. And I would be disappointed if the U.S. said, hey, Joker, can't play. Sorry, you're out. If the French did it, if the Brits did it, it would be a disappointment. So I think there needs to be some serious questions answered as to why these decisions were made. I understand public interest. I understand these are the quote unquote laws of Australia now. But at some point, It's not like Novak Djokovic is moving in. He's going to be here for a couple of days and then he's out. You gotta allow the best player, arguably one of the best tennis players in the world, to play in this thing, because otherwise the product suffers. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR if you want to weigh in on that. We'll take a quick break, come back on the other side, give you an update on what's going on in Dallas. Jason has destroyed the studio. We'll talk about that coming.
We're a fourth quarter team.
Oh, is that what it is? All right, keep telling yourself that, so. Jace. Yeah, it's not good. Doesn't look good for the Cowboys. We'll get you caught up on that. We'll talk to our friend Sean Belegian. He got Gridiron Wrap coming your way at 7:05. Don't go anywhere. Sports Wrap continues next here on WJR.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating
because I gotta
with
be
Silver
honest,
Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50.
Again,
Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. Silversingles.com/radio.
It's really tough,
getting
though,
your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like
that they can't. That we're not going to spend them.
And chasing down.
I think that's a big part of it.
Sweet moolah. That big old cash
But you're right.
cow.
Look at all that money.
File for free with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Everyone's talking about labor shortages and all the related price increases.
If you're a homeowner or a contractor, we know the struggles you both have trying to find trustworthy people that can help. The Inside Outside guys want to help homeowners and contractors alike with our over 80 years of combined housing experience.
Go where thousands of Michigan homeowners go every month for help with their homes, theinsideoutsideguys.com.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys are brought to you in part by Kearns Brothers.
Hey, it's Guy Gordon, and we're expected to get a lot of snow and cold temperatures this winter, and a lot can happen outside your house when this type of weather rolls in. Heavy snow and ice in the gutters and potential roof leaks. Well, my friends at Kearns Brothers can help you make sure everything is safe and secure. Kearns Brothers, the trusted roofer in our area for over 30 years, always offering free inspections and the best communication. Tell them Guy sent you and schedule a free winter roof inspection at KearnsBrothers.com. That's KearnsBrothers.com.
What if you were wearing something sexy? What if you were drinking? What if you made the first move? No matter what, sexual assault is never your fault. Support is available 24/7 through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Call 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAIN.org. That's RAINN.org.
Yeah, I mean, they schedule these pretty far in advance, so
it's
yeah,
never your fault.
Unfortunately, I don't know when they're scheduled out.
Going once, going twice. Sold to WJR's bidder.
Scheduled out pretty good.
Michelle's January 20th and 21st auctions feature over 800 unique lots from notable estates in Metro Detroit and across the globe. Art glass, sterling silver, medieval armor, decor and weapons, modern and antique firearms, quality furniture and oriental rugs, and much more. All open for bidding. Bid in person or online with Dumo Live at auctiondetroit.com. Du Michelle's, Detroit's auction
So that's
house
going to
since
be in Milan
1927,
in
located directly
2026.
across from the Renaissance Center. Sean Belegian and Bill Keenest present the highlights, happenings, and history of American football, covering everything from high school ball, the NCAA, and the NFL. Join us for the Gridiron Wrap, Sunday nights at 7 on WJR.
Now back to more Sports Wrap, presented by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sports app today. FanDuel, more ways to win. Here's Chris Renwick.
This doesn't look good for you there, Jason. I'm sorry about that. I'm a little shocked at how bad these Cowboys have played. But
they just can't get any first downs at this point. It's not even about getting points.
Defensively, San Francisco has been marvelous. I mean, they have been absolutely suffocating And there's just been nowhere for Dallas to go. So you got to give a lot of credit to the Niners coming in here and playing the way they are. Meanwhile, Gridiron Rap coming up next here on WJR. Sean Belegian joins us. I don't know what you guys are going to talk about. We got nothing to talk about football-wise today.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And you know what? Look, I thought San Francisco was going to win this game. No offense to you, Jason. But to look this ugly, I mean, and if we're being honest, let's all be honest. We're adults, right? We love the National Football League. We love this weekend, all of that stuff. Boy, have there been some stinkers.
Stinkers.
There have been some stinkers.
Sean, I'm hoping. I wish there was a paper towel, and you know what I'm talking about from our Lions days. I wish I had a paper towel to kick around and punch right now.
Well, here's the thing: is I know that we've got some new studios coming. So if there's any demo that needs to be done, call Jason. He'll get it done.
Ooh, that's true. I might stay after a few hours tonight.
Shawnee, we were talking about that Eagles Bucks game from earlier today. Bucks beat the Eagles 31-15, but it really wasn't even that close. I thought Jalen Hurts was terrible today. And in terms of all of the other quarterbacks of teams that are in the playoffs now, look, the Eagles snuck in, but at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts was terrible. I mean, I would take Ben Roethlisberger now as opposed to Jalen Hurts now. I mean, that's bad.
Yeah, it just across the board. I mean, just an ugly game today. Certainly, it started with Jalen Hurts, and let's be honest. I think the thing that jumped out to me, especially going back to Saturday night, is the relative ease that teams had going up and down the field. There are two games in a row where it was just Buffalo obviously did whatever they wanted against New England, and Tampa was having that same thing. But no, you're absolutely right. And then conversely, Chris, you have Jimmy Garoppolo right now, who I have no other way to say it. He's just done a whole lot of nothing today. Yeah. I mean, seriously, there's no other way to say it. He hasn't been bad. He hasn't been great. It's just kind of a whole lot of nothing. When he needs to make a play, he makes a play. The numbers aren't eye-popping or anything like that, but that's the crazy thing about it. But I've already heard the cat calls from people. I've seen it on Twitter, and some of my buddies have yucked and said, "Well, I'm so glad that we advanced the playoffs." I think it's great for the game. I really do.
I do too.
Especially the last few weeks of the season. The line that I always use with Bill is this: the NFL loves to sell hope. They love to sell hope. And Chris, I keep thinking to myself, I don't think it's going to happen next year, but maybe the year after that, maybe the Lions find themselves in the middle of December going, okay, you know what? If we take care of our business and we need this team to lose or that team to lose, we can get in, and then once you're in, anything can happen. I think it's a great dynamic. I don't think there's any correlation between the bad games that we've seen, and they've been bad so far, and adding an extra team to the playoff. I just don't.
Well, we did that a little bit yesterday because, again, you look at some of these teams that have made the playoffs, the Eagles being one of them, the Steelers being another, who the Lions tied this year. I asked the people yesterday, I said, judging by these teams and where they are now in the playoffs and where this organization is as we stand now, how confident are you that they're going to be able to make the playoffs in the next couple of years? Like, I think year 3 of this organization with these coaches, with this general manager, I think it's a real possibility.
Listen, Chris, I do too. I keep looking at the Arizona Cardinals, and I keep bringing this up. People thought that the Cardinals were an absolute disaster, going back just a few years ago. And then, they had a 3-win season. They had a 5-win season. They got kind of cute and just missed the playoffs. And then they were ready to go this year. And you know what? You have to do it with extra picks. You have to do it with so many things. There's a lot more work that Brad Holmes needs to be, aware of, and he has to be cognizant of. And I'm one of those people, count me in the class, that thinks I do think that they need to get a franchise quarterback.
Yep.
But you know what? If this season is any indication, I think they're right on track to for that trajectory that you just spoke of.
In the meantime, we got Steelers Chiefs coming up tonight. KC laying 12.5. I don't know. I don't think the Steelers are going to be able to put points up here. I think this is all KC. I think they're going to run away with this thing.
I'm with you. And you know what? A lot of times, and we were talking about this last week, it's when you see a game not that long ago, it's hard to get that out of your head. And I use that reference for the SEC championship, and we saw how that played out. But I watched the Steelers-Chiefs game a few weeks back, and Chris, I don't know if you saw it. I mean, it was just non-competitive stuff. It was just an ugly, ugly, ugly game. And like I said, I can't get that out of my head. So I'm with you there. I think the Chiefs just roll.
In the meantime, we talked about Arizona. They go to LA to take on the Rams, Matthew Stafford. The Rams laying 3.5, and the over-under in that game is 49 and a hook. I don't know, man. I just think that with the way the Cardinals have looked this year, right? They started off 8-0, and then loss, win. I mean, they were on the roller coaster that many NFL teams go on, but they were a completely different team in the second half. And yes, Kyler Murray was banged up. DeAndre Hopkins was banged up. They don't have Hopkins tonight. I don't know. I just look at this thing, and I think Matt Stafford gets his first win in the postseason tonight, because I until Arizona can prove it to me, I just don't believe that they can get it done.
No, I get it. One thing that jumps out to me about this game, though, Chris, is how good Arizona's been on the road. They're 8-1.
Sure.
I mean, and it's crazy when you think about it, they're 8-1, and of course that only loss on the road in Detroit of all places. So I got to be honest, I kind of like the Cards there. I'm with you though. I'm hoping Matthew Stafford gets it done. I really am.
Obviously, a lot of wild card talk tonight, I assume.
Yeah, we're going to look back in time. The NFC Championship game in '92. We'll get some thoughts from Bill.
Sweet.
A lot of playoff chatter as well. I know he was in Cincinnati yesterday, so stick with us. Gridiron Wrap next.
Good stuff. Gridiron Wrap coming up next here on WJR. That's going to do it for us. Have yourself a wonderful week. We'll talk to you next weekend. See ya.
All right, we'll talk to you this week.
All right, Jace, talk to you. Geez, Clay, when do the Lions go to the Super Bowl? I don't know, man. What is it? We're 2022. 2032. How about that? I don't know, Clay. I don't know. Never, probably. I'm not sure. Let's focus on winning more than 3 games next year. All right, Clay. Thank you. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you next weekend. Have a good one.